The following audio is from Maple City Baptist Church in Chatham, Ontario. For more information about Maple City, please visit us online at maplecitybaptistchurch.com.
I'm going to start this service this morning with a text from the Old Testament that was actually written over 700 years from the event that we're going to be talking about this morning. And I hope that as you hear it, it might not make much sense now, but I pray that it will shortly. Isaiah 35, again, written over 700 years, over 700 years, to the events in John chapter 5, where we'll be shortly. Verse number 3. If you know anything about Isaiah, or if you don't, Isaiah is an Old Testament prophet who speaks much about the Messiah, the anointed one, the coming king. And in the Jewish mind, from Genesis chapter 3, they were waiting for the true king to come that would make all things right. This was their heart. This was their hope. This is what they longed for. And Isaiah does a wonderful job at telling us 700 years before the event where the Messiah would be born, how he would live, how he would grow, how he would minister, what he would do. And eventually, Isaiah tells us of his death, his burial, and resurrection 700 years before the fact. So here is what he says in Isaiah 35, verse number 3. Strengthen the weak hands and make firm the feeble knees. Say to those who are fearful-hearted, be strong, do not fear. Behold, your God will come with vengeance, with the recompense of God. He will come and save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. Then the lame shall leap like a deer, and the tongue of the dumb sing. For waters shall burst forth in the wilderness, and streams in the desert. This is the word of the Lord. Isaiah says there's coming a time when the Messiah, the King, the true one, would come and would change everything. And he mentions about the lame leaping. So we come into the book of John now, the fourth gospel. And John, above all other gospels, is very clear on the person and work of Jesus Christ as pertains to his divinity. The God who has come. And so we go through the book of John. It's powerful in the beginning. We come to chapter 4. And in chapter 4, just before our text, Jesus must go through Samaria, which was a place where Jews would not go. They were half-breeds. They were outcasts. But he says, I've got to go there. He goes there. And as he goes to Jacob's well in the middle of the day and finds a woman who was there. His disciples have gone. He sits. He's tired. He's thirsty. He's weary. And he strikes up a conversation with an outcast. Not part of the covenant people. And for a rabbi to speak to a woman in public was shameful. But he starts a conversation, and in the course of the conversation, he just unloads before her her very life. A life of sorrow, a life of broken dreams, one failed relationship after the other, looking for love and never being able to find it. And Jesus exposes it in love and kindness, asks lots of questions, and she knows now that she's been exposed. He knows her. And so she does what most people do. She changes the subject. And she wants to talk religion now. And so she says, we know that the Messiah will come. And that's true. They know that. But Isaiah, she sees, she understands. And Jesus most clearly says to her, I who speak to you am he. What you've been waiting for, what you've been longing for, the one who would come and make all things right. I am he. And so we come to chapter 5, and chapters 5 through 10 is Jesus now taking that message clearly, saying, this is who I am. And now he's speaking to the Jewish religious leaders. And they're not happy at all. Because when he says to them, I who you speak about am he, the Messiah, he is saying, the God who will come has come. If you've ever heard anyone outside the church or on the internet, well, Jesus never said he was God. Nonsense. If you say that, you have never read the Gospels, ever. Because Jesus most assuredly claimed this boldly over and over again. A matter of fact, to the irritation of some people. And you better believe, as you'll see today, the Jews knew exactly what he was saying. Exactly. So don't give me the nonsense. Jesus never claimed. False. He claimed it all the time. And what he did, and what he said, and his acts that only God himself could do. Forgive sins, accept worship, heal, and raise the dead. And so we come to chapter 5 now. Verse number 1, John tells us this. After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. This is the central place of worship. This is where the religious leaders all coalesce. They're here. He says, now there is in Jerusalem by the sheep gate a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porches. Just so that you know, the name Bethesda is interesting. It means house of outpouring, like house of mercy. Mercy being outpoured in Bethesda. So this is where Jesus is at. And in these 5 porches, verse number 3 says, in these lay a great multitude of sick people, blind, lame, paralyzed, literally withering, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain time into the pool and stirred up the water. Then whoever stepped in first after the stirring of the water was made well of whatever disease he had. And so John says, in this pool by Bethesda was a great multitude. And this is not a great multitude of the who's who in Jerusalem. This is a multitude of sick people, blind, deaf, dumb, and lame. A mass of humanity all sitting around a pool, hoping and waiting to be healed. And the problem was that it was not in their favor. All odds were against them because it seems to indicate the first one in the pool is the one who wins. And after that, nothing else is happening. And so get the picture, a mass form of humanity, a sea of humanity, sick, lame, in trouble. Verse number 5. Now a certain man was there who had an infirmity 38 years. And this is the man that we're going to be talking about this morning. He was at this pool, mass humanity, sick people, right? He was infirmed, and it doesn't say it now, but you will find out. He's lame. He cannot walk. He's on a mat. He's on a bed. There's a belly crawl to get around, or helps to have someone take him there. Listen to me. He was sick for 38 years. How many people this morning in the auditorium, you're under 38 years old? Can I see your hands? Some of you ladies are lying. Okay. Yes? No, you're not. Reverse those. And so half of you are not even 38 years old. Here is a man who's been sick for longer than you've been alive, 38 years. Verse number 6, you can see the situation. It is not good. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had already been in that condition a long time, he said to him, notice, Jesus saw him there. Okay, remember, a large mass of humanity and no one's doing well. They're all sick. They're all in trouble. They all have issues. And yet Jesus comes and he sees this man. Specifically, this man. He comes and he finds this man. Jesus sees him. This man is seen. I want you to know something this morning. I might not know you, but I know this. Jesus sees you. He sees you. I think about my own life growing up. And I'm always amazed that Jesus would see a poor kid from Cleveland and clearly see him. Jesus sees you. He did not ignore this man. He saw this man. I wonder how many times the priest and the Levites and the Pharisees who frequented that area. I wonder if any one of them ever saw him, let alone stopped or talked to him. The religious crowd. By the way, religion will not help you. We do religious acts, certainly. We have a religion. But we have a relationship with a person. It is not in a church. It is not in good works. It's in none of that. It is in Jesus Christ. The religious crowd cannot help this man. There is no help from him. And even if they stopped and had compassion, ultimately they could not heal him. But Jesus saw him. Jesus knew him. He knew him. He didn't know Jesus. You're going to see in a minute. He has no idea who he's talking to. But Jesus sees him and he knows him. He says, knowing that he had been there for a long period of time. I'm not sure about this, but I think this is the case. I think that Jesus picked the guy who had been there the longest. 38 years. He finds this man. So he sees him. He knows him. He knows him. He knows his anticipation. He knows his frustrations. And he knows his disappointments one after the other. He saw him. He knew him. And then he spoke to him. Did not step over. Did not ignore mass humanity. This is the man. Just like the woman at the well, he was on mission. He stopped, and in love and kindness, he spoke to the man, and not just to the man, he spoke to his heart. Look at the end of verse number 6. He says this, do you want to be made well? Remember the picture. Massive humanity, all sick people, 38 years. Jesus walks up, he sees him, the man is seen by him, he knows him, and then he speaks to him and he says, hey, do you want to be healed? Now listen to me. Is that not an odd question? Okay, for me, I am a little bit sarcastic at times. Okay, so if I'm sitting there for 38 years, and a guy comes up to me that I don't know and says, hey, on my bed, 38 years, do you want to be made whole or do you want to be healed? In my sarcasm, I might say, no, I just come here for the sunbathing by the pool. That's why I'm here. The hummus in Bethsaida, it's delicious. And besides that, do you see the scenery of this place? It is awesome. This is a ridiculous question to ask a lame man for 38 years. But Jesus asked it. And I want you to see in the asking of this question, it reveals a number of things. Number one, it reveals this man's hopelessness. Look what he says, the man, after being asked this question, do you want to be healed? In verse number 7. The sick man answered him, sir, I have no man to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up. But while I am coming, another steps down before me. He almost just bypasses the question. He says, I have no hope. I'm here for 38 years, and it's almost like Black Friday at Walmart, right? One shot, one chance, the door's open, everyone's flocking there, and as he's doing the low belly crawl, he never makes it on time, ever. 38 years of pressing over and over and over again. His hope was in a pool, and he just could not get to the pool. It's hopelessness. But not only that, there's something else. We see his heavy heart because all he sees now is an obstacle. Not only can I not get to the pool, I don't have one man to take me there. Like, where's his family? Where are his friends? Where's a compassionate person to pick the man up and take him to the pool? He has no one for 38 years in despair. And so much so that I don't even think he hears the question because the question implies, maybe I can help you. But in his despair, in this 38 years of the same thing over and over again, his idea is, hey, I didn't even hear what you said. Do you understand the obstacle in my life? It's been this way for a long, long time. I'm stuck in this situation. There is no hope for me. I've got this huge obstacle, this hurdle that I cannot overcome. But the third thing I want you to notice is this is an honest question. As strange as it may be, 38 years of anything, you get pretty comfortable. Like, even bad things. There comes a time after 38 years of something that if this is a mess, if my life is a mess, at least it's my mess. And at least I know my mess. And beside change, maybe thinks something's going to change. Maybe there's more work involved here. Maybe something has to be different in my life. Christ asked an honest question. 30 years of the same thing, just a man being resigned to where he's at. This is my life. I put hope in a location, I put hope in a circumstance, and I put hope in people. They have all disappointed me time and time again. So, ask what you want, but this is my lot. This is my life. This is now who I am. This is my identity now. I don't hear the question. This is who I am. So Jesus says to this lame man, do you want to be healed? But can I tell you something? That's not just a question for the lame man in our story this morning. That's a question for all people. Because the truth of the matter is, everyone in this room, every man and woman and young person, we have our own hurts and habits and hang-ups. And we have this facade in our life like somehow I'm good, been doing this for a long, long time. And so we don't really address the issue of our anger, our explosiveness, our lust, our self-righteousness, our bitterness, our pain, our sorrow, our loss, our suffering. It's become our identity. It's almost like a part of us right now. It becomes who I am. And so if you're asking, do I really want to be changed? Do I really want to be healed? For many of us, we've been this way for a long time. We've come out of dysfunction and problems and trouble. It's how we were raised. It's all I know. This is how I respond. This is what we do. This is how our family is. As chaotic and dysfunctional as it is, it's mine. And you don't even realize that the offer is for freedom. The offer is for healing. The offer is no more bondage in your life. That you can be healed. Will you be healed? And for many of us this morning, you know it and I know it. There is stuff inside here that we know is destroying us. But it's our stuff. And yeah, I might blow some things up and destroy every relationship and don't have any friends and I'm an outsider and whatever, but it's mine. Do you want to be healed? And some of us, we know that if I say yes to that, something will have to change. Something will be uncomfortable. Something will not be like normal for me. And so we weigh it out and say, nah, I'm good. Is that not pathetic? Like it's like Lewis said, of children playing in the slums, making mud pies, being happy with that, not understanding what a vacation or a holiday at the beach would be like, because this is my mess. And Jesus says, listen, will you be healed? But it's not just for the lame man, and it's not for every man and woman in humanity. This question comes to every believer in this room. Because as believers, we know, Brian was so elegant this morning saying, I'm a sinner and so is everyone in here. That's a great way to start a conversation. You're all sinners. We know that to be true. We know that we're broken inside. And as believers, we know we're not perfect. We know we struggle. But there's something else we know. We know that the Christian life we're living here in North America is not reality. I heard a documentary the other day of an Iranian woman years ago, don't know how many years ago, a believer in Iran. And under the constant threat of beating, rape, prison, or murder. And for whatever reason, she and her husband had an opportunity when they retired to move to the States. So they did. They moved to the States. And just that you know, this is not just a question about how the States are, because all of the West is in trouble. Like, if America is your glory place, brother, you're in trouble. We're all post-Christian. So they come to the States, and when they come to the States, she's here for 5 years. And here's what she says. Living here as a Christian is unbearable. All of the noise, she said this, Christians are being lulled to sleep by entertainment. So, after 5 years, do you know where they went back to? Iran. Listen to me. I'm not talking to just you. I'm talking to myself. We in the West have become really comfortable with our religion. Like this. Hey, look it. These are nice chairs. Honestly, these are really nice chairs. I don't know how you people don't fall asleep every week. These are really nice chairs. They're comfortable. It is not hard. Shut up. They're nice. And most of the time, the air conditioning's working well. And we're comfortable. We're really comfortable. But something is gnawing in our hearts knowing that there's more to the Christian life than this. More than the busyness, more than the exhaustion, more than what we're doing, there's more. And so the question comes to you and I, it's like, hey, do you want to be healed? Because we know there's more than this. And the honest truth, if we're being honest, is we weigh it out, we know there's more, not quite right, but I'm really comfortable, Lord. And if I say I want you to completely heal me from the inside out, I already know it's going to cost me something. It will make me uncomfortable. I won't like it. And I'm not talking about go sell all your stuff. I'm talking about just being obedient today. You know what the word says? Spirit's working. Do this. Be a good husband today. Respect your husband, wife. Love your kids and raise them the right way. Speak kind words. Don't respond like that. Give of yourself. And we know it will cost us something. And so Jesus comes and says, hey, do you want to be healed? And for most of us, you think it's a no-brainer? I don't think it is. I think after 38 years of doing this, I'm okay. But Jesus will have none of it. Look at verse number 8. Guy doesn't answer. He doesn't answer. He sees the impossibility of all of it. And Jesus said to him, rise, take up your bed and walk. And immediately the man was made well, took up his bed and walked, and that day was the Sabbath. Notice, Jesus didn't pick him up. Jesus didn't take him to the pool. Jesus just said, get up and walk. What he told him to do was impossible. Do you understand that? Like, okay, I could have done that 38 years ago. No, you couldn't. You could only do it by the power of Jesus Christ. Christ said, get up and walk. And by his authoritative power, you can be healed. It is in Christ and Christ alone. So he heals the man. He heals the man. So he gets up. It's a Sabbath day, which for us Gentiles maybe doesn't mean too much. For the Jew it did. Look at verse number 10. The Jews therefore said to him who was cured, it's the Sabbath. It's not lawful for you to carry your bed. It's hilarious. Here's the religious leaders who were content with the status quo of being sick for 38 years. That's okay. But the day you get up and walk on the Sabbath, that's a problem. They're not rejoicing in the man being made whole. They're mad because he broke their rules. Religion like that never changes. There are Christian people who are so religious that if you break the rule, they don't care if you're doing great in life and you've had victory in other areas. If you break their rule, oh, there's hell to pay. That's these guys. By the way, the man wasn't breaking the Sabbath. Just so you know, Man was not made for the Sabbath. Sabbath was made for the man. It was made for a day of rest and to rejoice and to worship. And what these guys have done is they have these rabbinical rules, like there were 39 categories of work on a Sabbath day. They were fencing it in, so piling up all of these rules so there's no chance you could break it, understanding their heart now is far away from God. And that's what they did. Christ did not break any rules. He healed the man. Verse number 11. Well, verse number 10 said, who told you to carry your bed? Verse number 11, he answered them, he who made me well said to me, take up your bed and walk. And they asked him, who is the man who said that to you, take up your bed and walk? But he, the one who was healed, did not know it was Jesus. So, again, completely missing the miracle. Well, who told you could do that? And the guy has no idea who it was. He just said, hey, the guy who healed me, I would imagine if he had power to raise my legs back up after 38 years, maybe that's the guy I should listen to. I think that's good advice. I don't know if you've seen, you should see this, I'm sure you have. Alistair Begg has a clip where he talks about the man, the dying thief on the cross, who at the end of his life has no chance or shot of anything. He's dying in hours. He will die. And yet he makes it to heaven. And when he gets to heaven, this is not how it works, just so that you know. But the angel says, it's not how it works. But the angel says, hey, how did you get here? And he says, I don't know. Well, what do you mean? Haven't you gone to church? Don't you know the catechism? Haven't you seen the creeds of faith? Haven't you been in Sunday school? He said, no, not at all. And they're perplexed. And he said, well, how in the world are you here? And he said, this is what you have to watch it because Alistair Begg does it. He said, I don't know how I got here, but the man in the middle told me I could come. And Jesus said, get up. And if he tells you you can come or get up, you can get up. They're not happy, though, believe it or not. They go on. Let's see. Verse 13. But the one who healed me, withdrawn. Okay, verse 14. Afterwards, Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, see, you have been made well. Sin no more, lest a worse thing come upon you. That's strange. But let me just say something to you. We live in a broken, fallen world. And every problem we have, whether with our health, cancer, disease, natural disasters, the food and environment, it is all the impact of sin. When our parents rebelled against God, they threw this world into chaos, and we suffer. We all suffer for it. It doesn't mean, no, we suffer. So we suffer because we live in a fallen world. But we also suffer because of other people's sins. Some of you have been hurt by the sins of other people. It's legit. It does happen. But also, we suffer sometimes for the glory of God. That in our suffering, God is molding and shaping and making us into something we could never be on our own. And I know, it's hard, it's difficult. No one glories in it. But we can rejoice knowing He's not done. He is taking that suffering and turning you into His Son, Jesus Christ, and giving you a comfort that you can't give unless He gives it to you. It's a glorious thing. But there are times, Jesus makes it clear, that because of our sinful behavior, our own sinful behavior, there can be suffering. And obviously that was with this man. Notice, Jesus saves his soul, right? But he also saved his body. Jesus comes to us to heal us, but he's a complete Savior. It's not just, I'm going to fix this part. No, He wants to fix everything. Go and sin no more. Believer, we all struggle. We know it. But in our life, there should be a trajectory of us saying, I've had victory here. I've had victory there. I used to be worse than I am. If you hate me now, you should have seen me 17 years ago. Right? God is doing something. Jesus, a complete Savior. Go and sin no more. Let's keep on reading. It's so good. I want to stop at some point in here, but anyways. Then, verse 15, the man departed and told the Jews that it was Jesus who had made him well. For this reason, the Jews persecuted Jesus and sought to kill him. Okay, let that register. We're going to kill him because you healed the guy. It gets worse. Because he had healed on the Sabbath. 17, but Jesus answered them, my Father has been working until now, and I have been working. Therefore, the Jews sought all the more to kill him because he not only broke the Sabbath, but also said that God was his Father, making himself equal with God. They understood what he was saying. And now they want him dead. I'm not going to read the rest of the entire passage. But I want you to see that Christ will talk here about the fact of his divine work. He's available now to give eternal life because the Father has gifted that to him. And he is the final judge of all humanity. That's how the chapter ends. And so what we see here is the great healer coming, fulfilling the Old Testament, revealing himself as God, and helping us understand that the Son, Jesus Christ, has been given all authority to judge every single person and has given him the authority to grant eternal life. It's a beautiful thing. And so, in a few moments, we're going to reflect on that on communion. But I want you to understand, this text and the chapters that follow, that's not the end of the story. Because in order for Jesus to be magnified, there was a way before him that he had to trod. The one who was the healer, the one who made the lame one leap, the one who opened the eyes, the one who brought the dead back to life, this healer would become sickness. He who knew no sin would be made sin for us. And the ultimate act of love was that this Jesus Christ, God incarnate in the flesh, would love you and I so much. He would see you, he would see your need, and he would know the only way to redeem you, to truly heal your soul, is that the innocent would die for the guilty. And in the ultimate act of love, the great healer climbed the tree. He was rejected so we could be received. He was blindfolded and mocked so we could clearly see. He was spit upon so we could be washed clean. He was forsaken so we would never have to be forsaken. He was stripped naked that we could be clothed in righteousness. He was crushed so we could be cured. This God takes upon flesh. He lives on this planet. He walks our side. He knows where you're at, what you're doing, what you're going through. He's come for you. There is no longer a dark room that he has not gone before. Every cry, injustice, pain, sorrow, he knows. He is acquainted with grief. And yet he came, he lived, he died, and 3 days later, he got up out of the ground and is alive today and offers salvation and life for all who would believe on him. Jesus, complete healer, will heal your soul, and he will take you all the way home. 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 And this is what we celebrate this morning. And so, if you're here this morning and you don't know this Jesus, listen to me. Religion will fail you. Your good works will fail you. Paying your taxes, as crazy as they are, will fail you. It's all a failure. There is nothing I can do to merit the goodness and grace of God. I am a sinner. I break his laws daily. I am guilty before a holy God. But you can be healed. Not in your own power, not in a pool, not in another person. It comes by the great healer saying, get up, come to life, trust in me. I will give life to you, life eternal, so you can find healing. For others, you don't have to be what you used to be. Christian, quit making excuses. It's the power of Christ. I can't change. Right. Exactly. That's the point. But he can change me, and all he needs is to speak it. When I turn to him and follow him, he does a work in my heart and life. You don't have to be the dysfunction and the nonsense and the anger and all the things of your past life. Quit making excuses and stop seeing what is being offered in this. Do you want to be healed? What that implies is you can be healed. And then for believers this morning, as we take the bread and the cup, I would ask you to ask the question I've been asking myself now for weeks. In my own Christian walk, do you want to be healed? As you understand your own, I'm not judging you, I'm judging myself. As I understand my own spiritual condition, I know there's more. But I also know the more it's going to cause me some work, it's going to cause me some trouble. For reals. I'm not talking radical, I'm just talking to be a true follower of Jesus Christ where I say, Lord, I surrender. And what I often do, and maybe you do as well, you start counting the costs and saying, nah, I'm okay. We're not okay. May God break our hearts as we take this cup and eat this bread and remember what we have been redeemed for and from through the perfect finished work of Christ.
Thank you for listening. If you would like to learn more about what you've just heard or are interested in the ministry of Maple City, please visit our website at maplecitybaptistchurch.com.